Hello, everyone. Today I'm going to talk about non-confrontational crimes. The enneagram is a systematic and dynamic personality model mapping behavioral tendencies and the motivation behind them. It is based on psychological principles and developed for spiritual growth. The model explains we all need our independence, security, and validation. There are 9 distinct and consistent behavioral patterns. Types 9, 4, and 5 are the withdrawn types. These mediators are reserved, introspective, and mediating. Their stress reaction is, quote-unquote, flight. The 9-4-5 group process information through reasoning and emotions. These mix like oil and water, leading to overthinking with a need for a lot of alone time. They typically think before they speak, tend to be more monotonous, and they are not very excitable or spontaneous. This principle shows up in the slant of their handwriting. The typical slant for 9, 4, and 5 is somewhere between 1 and 4. It is vertical and sometimes backward slant. Slant 1 is a reasoning over emotion. They control their feelings and desires. They maintain emotional distance and may repress personal emotional needs. A backward slant, as in 4, these people are reserved, private, self-protective, also keep their distance, and they are emotionally unexpressive. They typically avoid emotional pain. The withdrawn types are the flight types. They do not like direct confrontation, are prone to passive aggressiveness, and plan their responses. In criminality, they are prone to punish or retaliate from a distance. They plan their punishment in detail and typically have a cause versus a grudge against someone specific. Overly connected writers are highly analytical and process mostly abstract information. Connected writing shows the writer is capable of connecting one thing with another, one idea with another. They rely on structured and orderly thinking patterns. They gather information, assemble it, and that information needs to support each other to be quote-unquote true. They tend to be compulsive, have some obsessions, and have a hard time stopping once they started their quest for insight. This sample is the Unabomber's handwriting before on top and after incarceration on the bottom. The top writing shows a smaller midzone revealing social insignificance. The mildly taller upper zone implies an above-average philosophical inclination, which eventually led to overthinking and his isolation. The personal pronoun I reveals his personal withdrawal through the slant change. He kept his distance emotionally and socially. The overly connected writing implies his need to consider abstract, cognitive information only. The Unabomber killed 3 people and injured another 23 from 1978 until 1995. He believed technology and industrialization would advance to the point of environmental destruction. Today, in 2022, he has largely been proven correct. The Fremont bomber, or Rodney Block, was a former police technician familiar with forensic evidence. He has been convicted of planting bombs aimed at the police force. Black was a conspiracy theorist with paranoid tendency who blamed the police force with corruption. He planned and executed his bombing based on astrological events. He inserted himself in the investigation, and law enforcement became suspicious. He immediately presented evidence with receipts that he was not in town when the bombings occurred, but he knew so much detail about the makings of the bombs. They praised him for his insight and knowledge to feed his ego. He was unaware his own intellectual arrogance would give him away in the end. Like Kaczynski, he felt compelled to show others how smart he was. Black's writing is also very controlled, methodical, and overly connected. These are great qualities for a bomb maker. Timothy McVeigh's writing has a strong backward slant. He had an avoidant personality style. The good-sized personal pronoun I is segmented on the bottom, and the top bar shows his dominant nature, revealing his independent decision-making abilities and, above all, his stubbornness. Timothy McVeigh, the Oklahoma City bomber, was a true loner, reserved, quiet, and introspective. His underdeveloped handwriting reveals his negative view of others, which is why he kept his distance from them. The disconnected writing shows difficulty bonding and a more intuitive processing style. His cause was government overreach. This is the writing of John Allen Muhammad. The DC snipers randomly shot and killed people on the streets with a Bushmaster from the trunk of their car. The prosecutor believed the killings were a plot to kill his ex-wife who lived in DC. The collateral damage was to make the public believe his ex was just another random victim. There was enough evidence that substantiated this claim. Again, we see vertical writing, planning, and murder from a distance.